Morning, guys. David here. Just wanted to do a little video this morning. Decided after I dropped my wife off at work, I would come up to a cemetery where my grandparents and great uncle and great aunt are buried, along with many other family members here in Kern County. And it's a Green Lawn Cemetery is the name of the place. It's been here forever. My first memories of this is when my grandpa passed away in 1979. Coming up here and doing his funeral and graveside service. Then my grandma died a few years later, 89 I believe it was. And anyway, they're both buried side by side. And you can't help it when you come here. I know they're not there, but I guess that's the thing that remains is just their name carved on a piece of stone, along with a couple of sentiments. My grandma's kind of brought some tears to my eyes because forever my grandma taught Sunday school and had a daycare at her house, at her home. She was one of the first probably home daycares to open up here in the area, and the name of her daycare was Little Cherubs Nursery. And she loved babies, she loved kids. All of my growing-up years, she had that nursery. When I was a little boy, I would go to her house. My mom worked full-time, and I was just one of the kids in the nursery. So, did all the things that we did. But on her gravestone, there's a picture of a little cherub, and that kind of brought some tears because I'd kind of forgotten that. And on the gravestone, it says, "I will meet you," or "We will meet. I will meet you in the morning." I'd forgotten if that was on there too. Just kind of a sad, just brings up some memories. And my grandpa, just there's precious memories on his gravestone. I remember that song being sung at his funeral. And, so anyway, just kind of thought I'd do a quick video today for whatever reason here at the cemetery. And I'll show their headstones next. Go over there and take a walk. Smoking my pipe here on a bench. Some nice family had put up as a memorial. In fact, that's what we're going to do when Amy and I pass away. We want to be cremated, and we'll be having a bench up here at the same cemetery. This is where we will be laid to rest. Our remains, cremains, I guess they call it. But anyway, somewhere in this area, I think I have to figure out where the plot is. I'm actually getting a plot that my stepfather bought for him and my wife and my mom years ago, but they're going to be at a national cemetery, so they're not using these, so we're buying these plots from them. So somewhere in this area is where I will be. But for right now, let me show you the gravestones. So this is my grandpa's headstone. Beloved husband, daddy grandpa, Ralph B. Swisher Sr., 1904 to 1979, precious memories. And then next to him is my grandma's precious mother and grandmother, Edna B. Swisher, January 30th, 1917 to August 27th, 1997. Oh, it was 97. I didn't realize it was so late. I will meet you in the morning is the inscription. So anyway, that's where they are. Over here I've got my great uncle, Garnet Swisher, loving husband, daddy grandpa, 1907 and 1975. We knew him as Garney, Uncle Garney. His wife, Aunt Arlene Swisher, loving wife, mother, and Nana, 1911 to 1983. So, those four graves there. My grandpa, my grandma, his brother, and his wife. So, in a little bit different video today, there's a guy mowing the lawn, and back of me over there was wondering if he would come and ask me to stop smoking my pipe, but I guess he's got bigger things to do. Oh, it's a pretty place. Let me show you a different view. So this is where it's at. It's so nice. It's a beautiful, peaceful place. And it's right near the Panorama Bluffs. The bluffs over here. It's Kern River. The oil fields are all down there. That's looking to the north. where I live. Shafter is way out that way. Oildale is kind of in this direction. This is the bench that I was seated at. In memory of Arturo Quinones Sr., husband, father, and uncle. I think abuelo, grandfather, maybe, yes. Sorry, I'm not so up on my Spanish anymore. But that's the bench I was seated at. Graves are over there that I was looking at. Just driving around a bit here in this cemetery. Boy, what a peaceful, beautiful place. I was going to go into the office to find out where some other family members were buried, but the office doesn't open until 9 o'clock, and it's only about 8 o'clock right now, so we'll have to do that some other time. But I've always been curious to know where my great-grandmother was buried. She was buried here, even though she was from Kansas, and she came here, I guess, shortly before she passed away. And also, my grandfather's mom is here as well, and I don't know where she's at either, but someday I'll come back and ask the office where those graves are at. I'd like to see them. I've never seen them before. Yeah, I don't think anyone's really ever known exactly where they were at since my grandma and grandpa passed away. They probably knew, but I never came up here with them to find out where that might be. So maybe someday I'll come back and ask the location of those gravestones. That's the main building right there. Green Lawn Mortuary. It's a pretty big place. The area up ahead is where I was at earlier on the bench. It's kind of in the northeast corner of the cemetery, the location that my grandparents are buried. Cemetery was established in the 1930s, I guess, and was completed by 1941. That's when the main offices were built, but I guess people have been laid to rest here since the early 40s. So you won't find any super old graves here. We have another cemetery here in Bakersfield, Union Cemetery, which is was the first cemetery established here in Bakersfield. I'll have to take a drive through there someday. It's pretty interesting because it's got all the old graves in it. A few minutes ago, I watched them dropping a big concrete encasement in the ground. I guess that's for a new burial. I had never seen that done before, but they used a tractor to lower this big concrete thing into the ground where they had dug a grave site. lady up here putting some flowers on a grave. Morning. Guess I'd better skedaddle. They actually do some of the headstones. Actually, they have 2 locations here in town. They have a one here in the northeast, and then they've got a southwest or southeast location about 10 miles from here. And that's where actually they, I guess, carved the headstones, which I didn't realize that they did that here. But I guess they do those at that location. After this, I'll drive you guys over to the edge of the bluffs, show you what I was talking about, show you the view from the top of the bluffs here. Kern River is right below that in a little canal, one of the branches of the Kern River. Actually, it's just a canal part of it that runs parallel to the bluffs here in Bakersfield. And that is actually straight ahead. Some parking area there that I can drive into. Unfortunately, once in a while we'll have some person drive off bluffs and suicide attempts, which is pretty sad. But I'm not sure if they can do that so easily anymore because it's all fenced off with people in the past and driven right off the bluffs from this location. Right now, it's a pretty popular place for people to walk. It's called Panorama Park. Pretty good trail along the whole side of the bluffs. People can walk, park and get their morning or afternoon walk in. So it's right this way. I don't think there's any parking lot here. There's no parking places here, so I guess we'll have to flip around. But you can see there. Get out. I can't get out here, so I'll do that elsewhere. It's like someone has put a little marker right there on the edge. See all the cars parked along the road here. People who want to get out and walk park all along here so they can get their morning walk in. See if I can, there's a spot I can pull over. Should be good. See here, the trail. And this is what's below. So you can see there that that's the little canal I was talking about. There's some squirrels. Anyway, it's a beautiful, beautiful view from right here. Lots of squirrels. But got an oil refinery over there, along with some homes and a lot of oil fields out there. Kern County is known for its oil production. It's #1 in the state for oil production. So that's kind of what got the people to come to Kern County, that and the crops and the depression. Anyway, there's a little bike path down there that we used to walk and ride our bikes on. When the kids were smaller, we'd come out here and ride our bikes on the bike path down there. There's also the horse trails, which when I was a boy, I rode my horse along some of them. It's a really beautiful area. It's there. You can see the cemetery. What's that? So it's a pretty area up here. All right, so now it's time, I guess, to go home. It's about 8 in the morning. So I'll take a little drive to where I live. The cemetery, there's the bluffs. You can see it's a lot of cars still, a lot of people walking along the trail in the morning. It would be a bad place to walk. It's a little bit from my home. It's not far from where I take Amy to drop her off at work. It's down there, and where I was showing you is where she is working. But we'll just make our way down there. There's also a community college up here, Bakersfield College, which is where I went to school for a year or so when I was a younger man. And this was a bad place to get speeding tickets because they used to have a couple of police officers up here with the radar guns catching all the students as they were trying to rush to class. So I was one of those one time. Got a ticket for speeding up here. It was a long time ago. So to get to Oildale, which is where I grew up, you go down this and it drops you into the little area below. Direction that I used to go to work every day, drive up this on the opposite side, heading up to down to south to downtown Bakersfield. But right now we're going north to Oildale, which is just a little town, an incorporated area to the north of Bakersfield. Crossing over the Kern River now. This is a bigger section of what I showed you from below or from above up there. And this goes down. A lot of horse stables around here. There's horses to the right, to the left, along the Kern River. Mainly because it's a great area to ride a horse down by the river. It's a big oil refinery to the right of us. It used to be called Golden Bear Oil. Now it's called Golden Bear Oil Specialties. They manufacture a lot of different things. Among those would be asphalt and all sorts of petroleum products. And Oildale is to the left of us, which would be to the west. One of the things during retirement that you can do that I was never able to do before was just to kind of, do whatever I wanted to do. Drive around, hang out places. It's an enjoyable part of retirement. I really appreciate it. LA in a couple days to meet with Israel, with Rob, with Jason Sawgunner, and a couple other guys will be going down. I'm meeting at a cigar shop in a little town, part of LA. I think it's called Forest Hills. I've got the directions in my map, so I won't get lost. But it's about 2 hours and 45 minutes from Bakersfield, so I'll be heading down there on Saturday morning to meet with the guys. Won't be an all-day thing. We'll be leaving at about 2 p.m. We have a family dinner that night, and it's the last weekend we'll be able to meet for a while, so I want to make sure I get home in order to be with the family, to have that family dinner on Saturday evening. So hopefully, barring any traffic problems, I'll be able to get in there, have a 3 or 4 hour visit with the guys, and then head back home. That will be on Saturday morning. And you can see up ahead some of the oil fields that I showed you from above. And as I mentioned, Kern County was built on the oil that was produced here. It's still being taken and used. Of course, our crazy governor is trying his best to put a stop to that, and hopefully he won't succeed, because our economy is based on that oil. A lot of the schools, in fact, the district that my wife teaches at, Standard School District, was named that because of Standard Oil. The land that the school is on was given to the school by Standard Oil Company, hence the name of the district, Standard School District. So hopefully we won't do that, because it will cost a lot of people a lot of jobs if the oil production is eliminated from Kern County or California as a whole. This is probably kind of a boring video. I just started the camera. I always think of Simon, his early morning videos that he does. Sometimes he's driving around in England. But I thought it'd be a chance to show you some things around Kern County, which is where I was born and raised. Lived here all of my life, except for a couple years when we went to Fresno to finish college. Other than that, though, this has been our home for all these years, and the home of our families. And this light's taking a long time to turn green. All right, finally. This is called 7th Standard. Actually, it's called Merle Haggard Drive now. It used to be 7th Standard until someone decided to name it after Merle Haggard, who was also famous for being from here. Both him and Buck Owens lived here. They weren't born here, but they lived their lives pretty much in its entirety in Bakersfield. We used to live for about 20 years. We lived in this area. Take a right, and our home was in the area. So we lived there for about 20 years, up until about 10 years ago. Well, not quite 10 years, maybe 8 years ago, we moved out to where we're currently living. So this is considered Oildale, and where we live now is Shafter, which is really just connected to Bakersfield. In fact, the place where we live used to be part of Bakersfield, was just an unincorporated area of Bakersfield, but the city of Shafter, which is north of us, decided to bring their borders way down to meet 7th Standard, because there were a lot of housing, a lot of new houses were being put in, so they kind of extended the borders of their town to, I guess, to get a lot of some of the property taxes for the city of Shafter instead of Bakersfield. So anyway. Our airport is to the left of me, which you can't really see. There's a big Amazon building up here, which again, I can't really show you because I don't want to hold my phone as I'm driving. watching, whichever. I'm just doing this really for my own benefit to, use some of the time that I have where I don't have to be working. Hope you guys were able to watch some of the live stream we did for Lady Fire on Monday. We ended up spending about 2.5 hours. It was supposed to be a 1-hour Zoom meet, but those Zoom meets are kind of hard to stop because everyone seemed to be enjoying themselves, and we were just talking. So we just kind of kept it going for 2.5 hours, and we had a nice time. It was fun. It wasn't solemn or anything like that. It wasn't serious, although we did talk and think about Lady Fire, and we planned it to be at the same time as her memorial service in Florida. Got one commenter that said it was very disrespectful in the chat group. I've written him an email apologizing for that, and I've not heard a response, but there's always going to be somebody, I guess, that sees the negative in everything that is done. Whatever. That was not our intention. And I did get a nice email from Raphael saying it was wonderful, and that's what Enid would have liked. She would have liked a fun time, a happy time of celebration. So that made me feel better, because he was happy about what we did and the way that it turned out. We're almost in Shafter, so it's not far. It's actually just part of Bakersfield, like I mentioned before. The pipe has gone out a long time ago, and I'm not going to stop and refill it or attempt to fill it as I'm driving. Done that before, but not today. I'm going to pause this video until the light turns green, and we're off. I was able to dump my pipe out, so I am going to attempt to put some tobacco in as I'm driving. My wife wouldn't appreciate that, but she's not with me. She's busy teaching first graders right now. The yellow light. Oh well, it'll be time to fill up my pipe. This is a little bag of luxury twists that I have. And let's see what I can do here before the light turns green again. Oh, and there we go. All right, was able to pretty much fill up my pipe. Pipe tool, see if I can fix that. Plugging up the way here. Oh, a mouthful of ashes. Ash. that worked. So it's really not far from that location up there to my house. Not far from between Oildale and Shafter, which makes it easy to take my wife to work in the mornings. Oh my! I burnt another hole in my shirt. Windscreen when I smoke my pipe in the car, because I like to have the windows down, especially now since the weather's nice. I like to have them all the way down, but you know that causes issues when your hot ash is floating around the cab of your vehicle. It can be quite dangerous to your clothing. This morning that she still thinks I'm on extended vacation because apparently I'm failing to meet her expectations for what I should be doing. I noticed she was unloading the dishwasher this morning and did some laundry, so I think that was a hint that I should be more proactive in the things around our home. But she said it with a smile, so all is well. This area is called Gossamer Grove. That's the name of the housing tract where I live. Named after the Gossamer Condor, which was an aircraft that was developed here in Kern County some years ago. I've forgotten the details. I'd have to look it up. Otherwise, I'd just be lying to you if I started talking more about it. Our neighborhood here. Nice little park up ahead for people to walk their dogs and walk themselves. Gentlemen, well, I am home, so I will probably stop the video at this point and put this together, see if I can make some sense out of this video that I've made, and publish it. It's gonna be kind of a long video, isn't it? The picture up there you see above the freezer, that was my grandma's. My grandmother years ago found an artist that she liked here in town, and she purchased that painting when I was a boy. So we have it. There's not really a place in our home for it at this point, so I hung it in the garage until I can find a place to put it. All right, guys, well, I will talk to you soon. I hope you all have a great day. God bless you all. Bye. Actually, I just remembered one thing I want to do today is wash my car, so I'm going back out and leave my car out here so I can get her washed. Actually, yeah. All right, guys, talk to you soon. Bye.